We are in an era where people are trying to redefine manhood or what being a man is. And there's all of these qualifications and responsibilities and layers to what people say it takes to be a man. But nobody ever really knows because nobody really ever talks to a man or gets a man's opinion on it. It's most times the world and society dictating what it is to be a man. But regardless of anything that you hear, regardless of what anybody says that it takes to be a man, what tangible gift, what thing you have to do, what you have to know, regardless of any of that, the very first step for any boy to become a man is self-accountability. You are not a man until you recognize that you are accountable to yourself. No matter what your circumstances, no matter what your background, no matter who else is in your life, no matter who is taking care of you, when it comes to it, I am accountable to myself. I don't care what happened to me. It's not my fault. Somebody else did it. But the fact remains, as a man, it's your responsibility. Period. And so the very first step into becoming a man, the very first realization and recognition that any man has that takes him from being a boy into a man is the realization that I'm accountable for myself. It's nobody else's fault. Whatever my condition, whatever my circumstances, whatever my situation, whatever decisions I've made, whatever decisions that have been made for me, at the end of the day, I'm responsible for myself. I'm accountable. Whatever has happened, I have to take responsibility for my role in it. Regardless of who did what to me, regardless of what happened to me, I am accountable to myself. If you don't feel that way, you're not a man. If you don't live your life in that manner, you are not living your life as a man. If you are blaming other people for your problems, you are not living your life as a man. If other people are responsible for your actions, or if other people are responsible for the things that you have to deal with in your life, you're not living your life as a man. I'm accountable to myself. That's the first step. Before you think about anybody else, before you look at anybody else, before you take care of anybody else, you got to drop the excuses. You have to drop the mindset that somebody else has to do something for you. And you have to look yourself in the mirror and realize and recognize that you're responsible for your life. Period. Whatever has to happen, it has to happen. But you are responsible. Because once you realize that you are responsible, then what happens is now you start to be accountable. You start to ask yourself questions. You start to be self-critical of yourself and where you are. Because now you can't look to anybody else. You can't look outside. You can't blame anybody else. It's just you in the mirror. And you start to be critical of your progress. And in order for you to change that, now you start to develop a self-discipline about yourself. You start to discipline yourself in a way that is congruent with your value system. What is important to you? You've asked yourself the difficult questions. I'm responsible for this. So what do I need to do to change it? I need to be accountable for my actions. What actions am I taking that have me in this condition? What am I doing every day that has me in this condition? Who am I spending my time with? What am I spending my time on? What do I need to change? What do I need to eliminate to change these circumstances because I am accountable to myself. That is the recognition that makes you a man. And then once you understand that, you start to recognize, you get an idea for what God has given you. You get an idea for your talents, abilities, and gifts. Because see, if you are out here blaming the world for everything, you don't even know what you have inside of you to overcome and to endure because you're too busy blaming the world. But once you have to be accountable to yourself, once you have to deal with the challenges that come with life head on, now you really identify what God gave you. It's not just physical talents. It's not just the ability to sing or play basketball, right? Or run and jump. Sometimes those talents are emotional. Sometimes those gifts are intellectual. Sometimes those gifts have to be challenged in certain life situations. And you cannot challenge yourself to go through those life situations if you are not holding yourself accountable. If you are not being accountable to your actions, if you are not disciplining yourself on a daily basis, right? That is the transition period that you come to as a man. And you realize that you have to change everything. You have to change what time you wake up. You got to change who you associate with. You got to change what you think about. You have to change what you consume. You have to change what you think about, what you read, right? You realize that it's all connected. I'm accountable to myself. It's on me. So I can't be slipping here because that's going to affect me here. And so you take the opportunity to start to develop. You start to develop and you realize you don't know what you don't know. If nobody's told it to you, if nobody's ever exposed it to you, you don't even know what you don't know. And so you start to ask questions, not just about yourself, but about life, but in the context that this is on me. I'm accountable for myself. I have to make this happen. And there's no excuses made. If you fall short, you fall short. And then you put yourself in a position in the future never to be in that situation again. This is the development process that a lot of our young men don't have right now, right? Somebody has helped them along the way. They've developed no type of self-accountability skills that force them to look in the mirror and solve their own problems. Because we solving their problems for them. We picking up the pieces for them. We're not holding them to any standard of responsibility. And so when the real world comes, the world doesn't care anything about what position you come into a situation with. You have to deal with it. And if you have not learned anything of value to solve problems, you're going to buckle and break. You're not accountable. You think it's mama's fault, it's dad's fault. You know what I mean? They put me in this situation. They did this to me. It's society's fault. It's the man's fault. Guess what? It's still your responsibility. Even if it's not your fault, it is still your responsibility. I don't care whose fault it is. I don't care what conspiracy was done to us. Yes, they were done to us. At the end of the day, you have to take the bait. At the end of the day, Adam had to consume the apple. You got to make the decision. So yeah, they plotting and scheming. They're doing things to manipulate us. They're trying to systematically destroy our opportunity. Even if all of that's true, it's still your responsibility. At the end of the day, you have a decision to make. What type of man that you want to be? What type of person that you want to be? What values do you stand for? What principles do you believe in? Right? What is your purpose? You have a decision to make, but you can't make that decision until you make the ultimate decision that makes you a man. And that's recognizing that I'm accountable to myself.